And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast on the latest Pop Culture Cosmos. Right now, we cover the Oscars, Crimson Desert, and more. So go ahead and check it out. And I have another great episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos dropping Friday morning for your Friday morning drive. So go ahead and check it out for your weekend pleasure coming up right there for you. And then on Monday, $4.99 for us on the Pop Culture Cosmos as we will talk hopefully a success story for Project Hail Mary. Also, as well, hopefully talking about as well the Spider-Man and Dune 3 trailers as well. So looking forward to some great Pop Culture Cosmos conversations right there on the Pop Culture Cosmos on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and also as well, of course, the Lakers Fast Break on YouTube as well. Speaking of the Lakers Fast Break, don't forget, I've got my friend Drip Show at Drip Show Shop right here. Skate Deck, we're going to give away in the month of April right here. Wait for it, guys, because if you are in the continental United States, you could get one of these bad boys right here and a subscriber to the Lakers Fast Break and a follower to @TripShowShop on Instagram and Twitter. Appreciate El Rosto, as always, going ahead and supporting us by helping us get a skate deck to one of our followers right here at the Lakers Fast Break as well. Also wanted to go ahead and make mention that, of course, I've got the Lakers Latest bringing you your morning Lakers updates. So go ahead and check it out today, Lakers Latest on YouTube, part of the Fan Arc Network. And before we get into it, how are your brackets? Have they been destroyed yet? Because every year around this time, I put out my brackets, everything is going fine. Then the games start. And then by noon, this is what happens. Yes, right there. As David Caruso would say, oh my gosh. So yes, that's right. Those are my brackets right there. That's my bracket right there. Yes, blowing up. Yes, indeed. That's that after the High Point game and a couple other upsets. Yes. I think, was it North Carolina lost as well? Yes, absolutely. There you go. There goes my bracket. And I'm sure a lot of other brackets as well. Yeah. Not a lot of people are picking High Point. I can tell you that for sure. I definitely will be interested to see who actually comes out of it relatively unscathed in the NCAA tournament right there for you. But yeah. Oh, every year, JSJ, by the weekend, it's already this right there. It's already this right there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why I no longer put money on it. I'll play free. I'll play free. Yeah, I'll play free anytime. As far as for tournament bracket challenge, but no, this is my bracket right there. That's my NCAA tournament bracket right there. Yeah, it's a dumpster fire. Yes, there you go, indeed. But of course, it is Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching, listening. The Lakers. I'll just say this: it was a little over a month ago. The Lakers had just lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder at home, and we're really just upset about what went on. Obviously, it was a tough loss for the Lakers. But the next night at home, the Lakers had an opportunity to go ahead and right the wrong by matching up against the San Antonio Spurs. But the Lakers decided to not field their players out there. All their stars, all their starters sat down for that day. Maybe I think Rui Hashimura might have played, but still, all their main players, all their stars sat down for that game against the San Antonio Spurs. And you know how mad we were. If you watch this show and you come here regularly, you know how mad we were against the San Antonio Spurs because the Lakers and JJ Redick, they punted that game. Well, flash forward a little bit more than a month later, and the Lakers on a roll coming off two tremendous victories on the road in Houston. Less than 24 hours after that second victory, 3-hour flight from Houston to Miami. They're not getting there till like 3 or 4 in the morning. All signs pointed to the Lakers possibly sitting down their big three, as they call them, although Joe doesn't like to say big three, but the top 3 scorers on the Los Angeles Lakers. And throughout the day, we were wondering what would happen. They were listed as questionable. What would happen? Will they actually play? Will they actually start? Because, for LeBron, not only to start to see if he would have his final game in Miami, maybe not, but also to tie the record all time for games played with Robert Parrish. But little did we know that not one, not two, but all three came right there to the game. They actually showed up for the game against the Miami Heat. And I tell you what, after a rough start to the first quarter, Lakers got it all together in the second quarter and third quarter, really making a run. Being down by as many as 15 in the first half, the Lakers clawed their way back to being only down by 6 at halftime. And in the third quarter, took a lead with a 38-23 run. Luka bombing from deep all over the place. And would the Lakers gas themselves out? Would they tire themselves out? Well, the Lakers, they did get outscored, but they only got outscored by one because they put up 37. Wasn't a defensive masterclass by any stretch, but still, they outscored the Miami Heat overall in the game in a high-paced, really quality offensive game, 134-126. The Lakers win 134-126 behind great performances from Luka Doncic with 60. That's right, 60, and also becoming the single season all-time leader for the Lakers in made threes, passing D'Angelo Russell. 60 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. LeBron James facilitating, taking that secondary role. He started off 13 and 14, 13 out of 14 in Houston, followed up with 7 of 7. And he said after the game on Houston, he was already tired coming into the second Houston game. And he started out today in Miami, maybe his last time in Miami, going 7 for 7 to start off the game, went 8 for 12, a triple double for him, 19, 15, and 10. Austin Reeves chipped in with 18. Marcus Smart chipped in with 13. And the Lakers got it done once again, 134-126. The Lakers, again, defying expectations with the victory today, 45-25, 20 games above 500. Trying to distance themselves from the competition, the Minnesotas, the Houstons, and the Denvers. They are now 2 full games and 3 full games ahead of their competition. 2 full games ahead of Minnesota, 3 full games ahead of Houston and Denver in the Western Conference. Absolutely a great performance, a gutsy performance by a team that was obviously tired. You saw them huffing, puffing. I think what helped was the challenges. The challenges, which we do not like overall, helped the Lakers catch their breath on not 1, not 2, but 3 occasions coming down the stretch in that fourth quarter. Could that have been the difference? Who knows? But I'll tell you what, the Lakers got it done. Luka with clutch shots again coming down the stretch. And Nick T, I don't know how you can argue again with what Luka is doing out there. He is providing an MVP level performance now over the past 2 weeks that nobody in the NBA has matched. And I don't know what more do you want from him as far as that's concerned, because he is giving the Lakers everything they need. They've won 8 in a row, and they come away again with a great victory tonight, 134-126, in a game where obviously they looked a little tired. Could have just called it a day after that first quarter, after they were down by as many as 15, but they came clawing back, and they pulled it out over a team that was at home, that had a day off, and still was able to go ahead and get it done. Xbox says SGA is going to be hard to beat. Yeah, SGA with, of course, their record in Oklahoma City, that is going to be hard to beat. Wembanyama has been playing lights out as well for a team that has been playing well above expectations as well. So it's tough, but Luka has firmly put himself back into the MVP conversation. And there you go. Joe, put down your food and get on here. There you go. There you go. That one's for you. But again, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Let me go ahead and get to some other comments right here. If you're new watching us, please go ahead, like and subscribe. Go ahead and make sure you Like and subscribe to get that latest notification on when the Lakers fast break comes up right there for you, or an NBA observations, or something that we put up right here at the Lakers channel right here. She can have the kids. Isaac, you guys are just so cool. Uh, Xbox, as I said, MVP Luca was activated post All Star break. He has played at an unreal level, guys. He has played at an MVP level during this win streak. It has to be acknowledged. It has to be respected, and it has to be appreciated by everyone, even the Luca haters out there, which are still trying to find ways to go ahead and still get on Luca's case. But here today to go ahead and talk about today's game, a good man indeed. He was closer to the action than we were because he is around the Atlanta, Georgia area, close by where the Lakers were at in of course Miami, South Beach, or closer, I should say. It is, of course, my man, legend from I Got Next Sports Media covering March Madness. I don't know if you saw my intro, legend, but I already put up the dumpster fire and the car blowing up as my brackets have just exploded all over the place, as I think High Point killed everybody. Uh,
Yeah,
but your
Yay! A
thank you, Shine,
subscriber!
for subscribing. Truly appreciated. I truly cannot thank you enough for doing so. Your thoughts, legend, on today's game when it comes right down to it. Again, this was a tired team coming into Miami, played a game less than 24 hours ago. In fact, at this point in time, 24 hours ago, they were still, I believe, playing in Houston. So all that LeBron had said after the game in Houston that he was tired before the game in second game in Houston, and yet he still came out and played, and he played well and got a triple double. And Luka Doncic saw the team, realized they weren't going to have the same kind of intensity on defensive end. Obviously playing at the level of defense that they've had over the course of the past 2 weeks is, you know, on a back-to-back day, it's going to be really rough to do that at the NBA level. They decided to go ahead. We're going to try and outscore Miami. After that first quarter, they put every effort they can to try and build an efficient offense around Luka Doncic, and Luka Doncic took that and just on the third quarter alone, he put the team on his back, three after three after three, 9 threes overall, 60 points for him. I don't know, to all the haters out there, how much more he has to do.
I got one question to ask the haters. Stop drinking the haterade, man. Just put it down. Just put it down. You drunk enough of it. There's no reason to keep hating on this man. This man is delivering. Like, what else do you want this guy to do? Like, what else do you need to do? Like, he just dropped 60, 50, 30. Like, it just, the list goes on and on. The dude is winning games right now. The dude is leading the way. I mean, this is what LeBron wanted Anthony Davis to be. And he ain't nowhere getting near that type of level. And you getting it on a consistent basis right now. Like, you can't hate on this man. The man has went well beyond right now. To me, he done flipped the switch over a week ago, and it's rolling. It's rolling. He's cooking. At this point, I don't know what else Luka needs to do for any Luka haters or even some Laker fans who may not care for Luka like that because his style of play and crying to the ref and stuff like that. But bro, he's cooking right now. He's cooking so badly that if I was Nico Harrison neighbor, I would really knock on the door and ask him, "Boy, what was you drinking the night that you decided to trade this man? What were you drinking that night? Because do you see these stat lines? Like, if I was a Maverick fan, I would just be like, could have been us, could have been us. But like this, I don't know what else he need to do. He's done everything perfectly. Even his defense went up too. I don't know how long they're gonna continue to go, but he's cooking right now. He's cooking. You cannot complain about what he's doing right now at all.
No, you can't. You can't at all. And Mark, I never said that it was going to happen. I suggested that's a possibility all week long as we head into this back-to-back game because of the way the NBA schedule is like. So please correct yourself on that. And by the way, instead of citing for Joe, try and give him some spelling lessons because he can't even spell my first name correctly. Okay, so let's go through that. Let's you want to go down that road, Mark? Let's go down that road, okay? Because you have to listen and watch the show, and you have to understand what I say on the show. I said that's a great possibility based off of what the NBA does on a regular basis, based off of what they did about over a month ago. So please call it correctly before you open your mouth, and you have to put your foot into it. Okay, it's just that simple, Mark. Okay, because again, Joe can't even spell my first name correctly. Check the Discord messages right there, and you'll see. Correct. I said it was a possibility, and I'm glad it wasn't. But you could see, Legend, that the Lakers are riding high, riding a lot of momentum, riding a lot of camaraderie, because the fact that they're on such a high, it allows them to say, "Hey, we're going to go ahead in less than 24 hours and gut it out and play tired." And you saw in that fourth quarter they were playing tired, but still, they were able to go ahead and muster enough offense to really get it going. And Luka took it home tonight.
He did. He was out there cooking. He was just putting on the show, doing his thing. Like, to come out here and drop 60 is crazy, and it's just unbelievable what he's doing right now. Like, if all this was happening way early on in the season, like, he probably win MVP without a problem. And right now, he looks like he should be MVP. It's kind of unfortunate he came a little late to the party, but man, he's cooking. It's just unbelievable what we're seeing. Like, this is like best player in the world stuff that you're watching. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, was it Nick Wright or Brew on First Thing First? I'm not sure which one of them said it, but if you're not watching basketball, if you like basketball and you're not watching this, I don't know what to tell you. This is something special, man. Like, this is must watch TV. You got to enjoy these type of moments, because it don't always happen all the time, and who knows when it's gonna start to cool off a little bit. But you got to sit here and enjoy it while it's going on. This is something special, man. This is a crazy run that is going on right now. Like, these playoffs might be really interesting this year. This might be way more interesting than what people thought.
And again, this puts Luka, this recent stretch of games has got to put him back, because we talked about this a couple weeks ago, because a lot of Lakers fans were upset that he had been fading from this MVP spotlight. That Vegas, DraftKings, other betting houses had put Luka's odds down to as low as sixth place in some circles. A lot of the MVP voters had already been talking, as far as the reporters and whatnot, about how Luka, with the Lakers in sixth place in the Western Conference, really didn't have a chance or an opportunity to be thought of in that realm, no matter how well he was playing. Well, again, as I've said before, the Lakers can change his narrative, and he can change his narrative if the Lakers could get themselves back up in the standings and take advantage of the opportunities that were given to them. And in the past 2 weeks, Legend, that is exactly what they have. They've taken advantage of every opportunity in the schedule, all their competition. When they've lost, the Lakers have won. And in the meantime, Luka has had one outstanding game after another, putting him right smack dab into the middle of this. Guys like Kate Cunningham, who was announced that he's going to be out for an extended period of time due to a collapsed lung, that's just making the conversation even easier to put Luka Doncic into that mix.
Yeah, you have to have him like top 3 at this point. Need to be top 2, honestly, at this point. Anything outside of top 3 is disrespectful at this point. You just gotta have him in that conversation. Either a Boston fan think Jaylen Brown should be in it. If you are a Pistons fan, think it should be Cade. Spurs fan think it Wemby, or Nuggets fan think it Joker, or whatever team you like, you gotta have him in that top 3. There's no way you cannot have him in there. He got to be in there. The numbers are just ridiculously at this point. This conversation is wild. That's why I say if this would have happened like earlier on, he would have took the MVP change from SGA at this point.
Absolutely, indeed. But once again, the Lakers, they do win. Absolutely. A great performance by Luka Doncic and, of course, LeBron James, 134 to 126. And on the day, he gets this triple double. LeBron James, again, when it comes right down to it, just absolutely great performance. Triple double in the same game, legend, that he ties Robert Parrish for all most games played ever in the NBA. So he proves that his longevity by getting a triple double. And we've talked about LeBron not knowing or not looking like he knew where exactly his place on the team was. And in the past 10 days has reaffirmed himself as being one that's taking advantage of his opportunities as well, finding and picking and choosing the right times to when he can apply the pressure, when he can go ahead and get out in the lane, when he can go ahead and make his mark and imprint on the game. And at 41, it's obviously helping a lot to see that Luca and Austin are carrying a great load that will allow him to go ahead and choose his spots very carefully and very wisely, as we've seen the past few days.
Yeah, LeBron has really embraced the role that he's taking for the team. I know it, like I said, I know it probably wasn't easy to sit there and take that step back, but it was the right move to do because I mean, look how Luka's blossoming right now. He's just almost like he took it to another level at this point. You went from being just a superstar in the league to now look like you're the best player in the world right now, and it just a hell of a step up, and that happens because LeBron stepped aside and just fill in the role where you're needed, and that's what he's been doing. And he's done a tremendous job at that right now. Just scoring 19 with a triple double at his age is impressive. Because I highly doubt you can go to a YMCA and you're gonna see a 41-year-old end up getting a triple double. Probably ain't gonna see that. It's just amazing what we're seeing, man. The whole team is bought in right now. You can tell the whole team is really, really gelling right now. Even with Austin Reeves having his struggles, but it ain't affecting anything.
Well, he earlier this week was on top of three straight games where he was that second guy behind Luka Doncic. This time, Luka Doncic is getting support and main support from LeBron James in the past 2 days. So this is what you want to see, legend. If you're a good team trying to make a good impression to try and end this season on a high note heading into the playoffs, where yes, you have Luka playing at an elite level, but you have your support guys, your second, your third guy, your guys playing and knowing which one needs to step up at the right time. And then the rest of the team trying to give them enough support around them to get these wins. And today, again, it wasn't pretty on the defensive end when you give up 126 to Miami, but still, when you're shooting as efficiently and scoring as efficiently as Luca is, it just sometimes you could just go ahead and have nights where you just say, okay, we're going to try and outscore you. And that's exactly what they did tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did tonight. Yeah, their defense was not great, but the offense was just so elite that it just made up for it. It didn't matter. Miami was gonna have a hard time scoring at that type of pace. In order to beat the Lakers, you got to really slow down their offense. And yeah, give credit to Miami. They did pretty good on offense. They managed to score that many points on the Lakers, but that's not enough though. When the Lakers are cooking like that on offense, it's hard to beat them at that point. It's just hard. It's hard to beat a man out to just step back in threes left and right. It's just hard to beat that. It's just hard, man. When they're on fire on offense, they can beat anybody at that point. Anybody. And hey, that's what's happening right now. That offense is just on another level.
It is right now, and again, that was the bread and butter for this team heading into the season. Legend was the fact that okay, you had the all-time leading scorer right next to him was a guy that could lead, and as now he is leading the league in scoring, and then you had Austin Reeves, who was coming off a 20-point season himself. So the emphasis was going to be on the offensive side of the ball, and the way that this team was structured to was to try and be able to outscore a lot of teams in the regular season. And right now, it really looks good on that. But uh, tonight aside, the Lakers' defense in recent days has been the key, I think, to a lot of their victories because of the effort that they're giving on that end of the floor. And while they couldn't give it as at a high level as they did in Houston, they've certainly done a great job in doing so overall. And again, if they keep on continuing, they're still going to be able to go ahead and ride this thing out with some favorable results.
Yeah, if they can keep this going, it's gonna go a long ways if they can continue this level of play. And I'm more curious to see now how they do in the playoffs. Want to see if a lot of this good momentum can roll into the playoff and see how Jake LaRavia and a lot of these other guys how will they step into that playoff atmosphere when things go into a different world. Because we all know playoff regular season, it ain't the same. And that's when we're gonna see what a lot of dudes are made of. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what this defense and offense will do when we take it to postseason and let's see what the man among the boys what they look like.
Once again, it is the Lakers winning 134 to 126. The Lakers are now 45-25, 20 games above 500. They're now a full 2 games in front of Minnesota and a full 3 games in front of the Houston Rockets and Denver Nuggets. And here today to go ahead and talk about today's game is a guy that he is repping LA already. Dodger season around the corner, right there for you. And this guy who covers the Dodgers for the Joe Soro experiment. It is, of course, Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here. I wanted to go ahead and hear your thoughts on the game. Of course, we had speculated that possibility of this team deciding to go ahead on a back-to-back within 24 hours was there. They were questionable leading up into the game. But the Lakers, instead of what we saw a little over a month ago at a back-to-back where San Antonio, where they decided to take the night off, give them a lot of credit, Joe, and I give them a ton of credit for not doing the same here tonight in Miami.
I'm giving them cash, not credit.
No, you just go ahead, open up your wallet now?
That's what the green is for. And 2 months ago, this would have been a blowout because Miami came out like gangbusters, hitting every shot like most teams do, like most of the trip in the Southeast goes, whether it's Atlanta, Orlando, or Miami. Every time the Lakers go to those areas, those guys turn into NBA champions 4 years in a row. And the difference tonight, though, was LeBron James played like a surgeon that is in demand. And Luka played like a superhero in demand. And that combination with the rest of the team knowing who they are and what their roles are on this team with good coaching, this is the result after the back end of a back-to-back and a very grueling trip in Texas. This win showed a lot of who the Lakers are right now, even more so than last night, even more so than Monday. And I can't say anything other than there's just so much pride right now in what's going on. And put this into effect too. There's other players watching what's going on right now. Guys that are maybe thinking about what they want to do next here in the next year or so. This is a very, very good promotion. It's very good marketing, folks. As far as the detractors, I don't like using the word haters a lot because I think it's a remedial word for even the dumbasses. I don't think they even deserve to be called haters because I think you have to have some kind of a talent to be a legit hater. I think they're just stupid. They're just dumb. And I was talking about this on the Discord. I never really took the Luka issue really. I never really took it seriously. I never really did. I never felt like I needed to back up Luka in terms of people who thought he wasn't good enough. I mean, if you can't recognize Luka at this moment he's a generational player, but he is on his way to being an all-time great, which is a completely different category. If you didn't recognize that before he even stepped foot in a Laker uniform, you're not really, you don't have any credibility in anything. I wouldn't even trust you to deliver a letter to a mailbox. That's how dumb that is. Because what are you going to say? The guy has done everything except win a championship. and an MVP, which is not going to be given to him this year because most of the voters, I know there was a list I saw finally last year, but I know where most of the voters are. They're all in the Northeast and in Ohio. And people in Ohio and Northeast hate the Lakers. They took away at least 2 MVPs from Kobe. They took at least 2 MVPs from Shaq during their prime. And for what? They took a Defensive Player of the Year award from AD in 2020 also. Not only did they take it away, they insulted him by, I think the vote was like a landslide. So all those people who vote for those awards, I hope you all sit in your own shit one day at the most awkward moment in your life. So with that, I was proud of him last night. I'm just proud of him to all hell right now. I feel like a happy dad. They are absolutely playing the way we have been hoping that any team of ours will play. They are playing their butts off. And if they had lost this game, I still would have been happy. But it's hard to beat a team when Luka just doesn't miss. Just like, what are you going to do?
9 threes, Joe.
What are you going to do? This guy's hitting it he's doing the Dirk 1-foot fade from the 3. And then LeBron James. How about LeBron James? Luka's in his prime, guys. He's in his prime. And he's going to be an all-time great. I'm not saying you're supposed to get 60, but he's supposed to drop 30. Right? That's his game. But how about LeBron James? How about LeBron James doing things right now that can really, 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 really do something for the last part of his illustrious career? At the end of the day, buying in, doing what's necessary, chemistry, whatever you want to call it. The LeBron James that I saw these last 2 games looked like Bill Walton in his prime. And what I mean by that is, for those of you that I never watched Bill Walton play, but I've done enough research to see how he played. And I have caught some games that were back then that were live, the UCLA games, Portland games. Bill Walton was the ultimate team player. Bill Walton went 21 of 22 in a NCAA championship game. LeBron James, today and yesterday, this guy is ridiculously scary in a playoff setting. And if this is what he's going to bring to the playoffs, and if Luka's going to do what Luka does, and Austin played through a little bit of huff and puffing, a little bit of being hurt, and he actually started making shots at the end of the game when they really needed it. And then you have everybody else really, really, really doing everything they can with their talents. I know that LaRavia wasn't the sparkle in everyone's eye, but he at least gave this team 5 fouls, enough energy, enough time for Luka to sit down and not relinquish the lead. I think, if I remember correctly, Gerald, when he sat at the beginning of the 4th quarter, they were up 9. When he got back in, they were up by 8. So they really didn't lose anything. And we have talked about the details on this. If you're going to give Luka 12 minutes a game of rest and not lose leads or get destroyed in that time, you already done what you're supposed to do. And they did that, and they did that on the road. And they've done it 3 games in a row on the road against really good young teams. I think Houston is better than Miami. But we also have to factor in Miami and the problems you always have over there, and the fact that it was on the back end of a back-to-back. It was a 3-game and 4-night game, and you won all 3? And not only that, they dropped 134 points, and they just didn't stop. Miami kept coming. No. Here. No. Stay, relax. We got this. And that was for like 5 minutes, because the refs, I don't know why they always do this in these games. The game is moving fast, and then all of a sudden it just halts, and everything's like a foul, and everything is slowed down, and you got to wait for replays. And some of those calls on those replays, by the way, my God, What
that
the
may have
hell?
helped him, Joe.
Luka call.
Well, but Joe, they did it. They had 3 challenges. There were 3 challenges in that fourth quarter, and as you know, Lakers playing twice in less than 24 hours. That time, because they took their sweet ass time. These refs looking at those challenges, that may have been the kind of thing that the Lakers needed, Joe. That may have been the kind of the juice that they needed to catch their breath. I know, as we saw with Austin Reeves, because when he was shooting those final fruits, he was gassed, but they went and they challenged it, and yeah, it allowed the Lakers to catch their breath, which may have been ultimately why they were able to fend off the Miami Heat.
Well, it makes sense. I was thinking, I was more discussing the fact that the call that I could not understand what the hell was going on with that Luka call.
Oh,
How
that was
was that
call.
not a foul?
Yeah,
Because he ran into Ayton. Ayton was looking over there. Why is that Ayton's fault? That he ran into Ayton and he fouled Luka. I don't. That was a weird call. It was a weird call. It was almost like they were picking on DeAndre Ayton for no reason. Anyways, I also said the fact that Miami was hitting those shots. They were like, "Hey, man, you're letting Luka get 60 tonight if you're going to keep making these shots." Because if they had missed the last couple shots, Luka wouldn't have scored 60. Mm-hmm. So I guess thank you, Miami, for letting us watch a 60-point game. I did not expect a 60-point game tonight. I'll tell you that. I did not in any way think there was going to be 60. I said in my own head today, I said, well, they could win tonight if they can just kind of ride the momentum a little bit. And then when Miami was hitting their shots left and right for about a quarter and a half, I was like, God, these freaking guys. It's always the same story over there. Well, it turned out to not be the same story. The Lakers weathered the storm, and then as soon as they took that lead, they really didn't really give it back in any way, and they rode it all the way to the end.
Once again, the Lakers do get the victory, 134-126. Legend, let me bring it to you. And again, I do like your perspective, to the fact that you're not a Lakers fan, but you do provide us perspective on what's going on with the Lakers. And when it comes right down to it, when you see a team like your Atlanta Hawks right now, they've been sizzling. They're 1-11 in a row. So when you see a team that's playing at such a level right now with such confidence that they can overcome any obstacle that's thrown in front of them, like the first quarter when they were being manhandled by as many as 15 points, it just shows you that, this team does have a chance to go and do some things in the playoffs against a team like the Spurs, against the Thunder, if they can play with this kind of confidence. What does it mean when you see a team heading in the playoffs like your Hawks, like our Lakers, that is actually playing at a really elite level right now?
It means that you got a chance. You can go in this playoff and do something special. This run have showed that anything can happen at this point. And just like somebody just tweeted on Twitter a little while ago, because I thought reading, it's kind of crazy how Hawks is on fire, Lakers is on fire, Thunders is on fire because they like 13-1 the last 14 games.
Yeah. Yep. They've won 10 in a row themselves.
Spurs on fire. I think they're like 20-2 right now, something like that. But there's all these teams on fire. It's just crazy how this many teams getting ready to go into the playoff is on fire, and it'll let you know anything can happen in these playoffs. And it's just one hell of a time to be a basketball fan right now, to see this many teams on fire. And I think the saddest part about this entire thing is all these teams on fire, but only 2 teams can make it to the finals. Only 2, unfortunately. So we're gonna have a chance to see this how much fire all our teams are really on once these playoffs start and get ready to start weeding people out. But this has been a hell of a run from the Lakers, Hawks, Spurs, Thunders. This has been a hell of a run from a lot of these teams. And pull aside as being a fan of certain teams, this is good basketball. This might be the most interesting the NBA has been in a good little minute. And it's just good for the league to have this many stars playing on this type of level. Good for the NBA right now.
Joe, the Lakers are 45-25, 12 games left into the season. They're essentially 3 games ahead. I know it's 2 games in the standings, but with the tiebreaker, they're essentially 3 games ahead of the Timberwolves and 4 games ahead of the Rockets and Nuggets. At what point do you start saying to yourself, this team is really setting itself apart in its own universe because of the fact that we've seen them play so well? I feel much better right now than I did last season because Los Angeles Lakers, Timberwolves, the Clippers, the Rockets, they were all within 1 game of each other last season. This season, there's a little bit of a buffer for the Lakers that they're creating, and if they can continue to win at a high clip, they can go ahead and make that buffer even larger.
I would say, even though they had the same, I think they had the same exact record that they had last year, didn't they? Around at this time?
No, because I think it's a little better right now because I mean there's 12 games left and they're at 45. So they finished at 50. I think they were at 42, 43 around this time.
So they were 45. Yes, that's correct. They are a couple games better. They were 43 and 25. Or 40.
They were behind
40,
that pace.
43 and 27. So at the same time last year, they were 43 and 27. So they're a couple games ahead. It was a couple games ago where they
were behind that pace, and they've now exceeded that pace because it looked
not
like
only,
they were 47, 48.
Right. So they're up two games ahead. They're ahead 2 games where they were last year. It's not going to make a difference in the seeding. They're on pace to finish 3rd again. I just don't see a healthy team getting beat in the first round at this point if this is how they're going to play.
But if the Lakers create a buffer, does that give them more options at the end of the season to maybe sit down a Luka for 1 game or a LeBron or 1 game? They didn't get a chance to do that last year.
Maybe LeBron, but I don't think Luka. I think Luka. I think even though it's not likely going to happen, I think Luka's going to play. Luka has to play because he's missed 12 games, I believe. 12 games.
Yeah, I think 12 games.
So he can't miss more than 5 more games to qualify for postseason awards. And I know that doesn't matter, but it does matter in terms of contract stuff, right? It's not about me saying that because I care about whether they get any of this. I mean, I support it. I'm irritated that he probably won't win the MVP, even though he is, in my view, at this point. I just, that's me. Maybe call me biased or whatever, but I think my focus though isn't so much the regular season anymore now. Now I'm starting to more focus on, and all this changes if there's a bad injury, right? And that's for any team. But all things considered, if they go into the playoffs here, they have 12 games left. They get in the playoffs.
That's a precursor to that because April 12th, their last game is against Utah, and I have a feeling they'll sit some guys down then.
Well, just if they have the 3rd seed done, it doesn't matter what happens after that.
Yeah,
I'm more curious on who is going to be the 6th seed. If it's Houston, I feel pretty comfortable in terms of the matchup with that at this point. If it's Minnesota, I feel a hell of a lot better playing against Gobert this time around with Ayton there than I did with Jackson Hayes and DFS. You also factor in that you have a healthy Luka Doncic. You have a much healthier LeBron James going to the end of the season here. I can't remember the last time I've seen LeBron this spry at the end of the year. That's something going for him. Now, Austin Reeves a little beat up, I think. I think he may need to get some rest, maybe. And
he looked tired on those final free throws.
And that comes down to a couple things. I believe that he is kind of hurt, but he also needs to work on his stamina. Because I can't really feel too sorry for someone who is in his prime getting tired. Like, dude, it's basketball. You should be in shape for this. But we've talked about athleticism versus non-athletes. You know, the guys that are not athletic usually have to spend more energy. But that's okay. It is what it is. My assessment on how this will all get put together is I believe they're gonna do well to finish the season off. There's 12 games left. And I find it very hard to believe that they're not going to win 50 games now. That's going to happen. And even with a losing record the rest of the way, they can still get 50 wins. But I had said, I think maybe a month or so back, I think they needed like 53 wins, 54 wins to get the third seed. I think that's going to happen. Definitely 53. Get the third seed. I think if they face Minnesota or Houston in the first round, I think they got a really good advantage there, and I think they win that series. If they play Denver, that's going to be a little hard. That one might go 7 or a really, really hard 6, and it could go either way. That's kind of what I've been thinking about here.
Once again, the Lakers win 134-126, 45-25, third place in the Western Conference. Legend, let me bring it to you, my friend. You and I actually, after the first day, it's not 75%, I guess. We're both tied at 74.5. It's not bad. It's not bad. That high point that killed a lot of people. It killed a lot of people.
Yeah, I think I tried to guess a couple upset. I need to go back and look to see if I get any upset.
Always you get the rules. Get 11-6, one of the 11-6, and one of the 12-5s. Will always lose each and every year. You don't know which one. It's just so hard. It's so hard. But when you're watching these games, is there anyone you think that you guys in Atlanta are targeting because you guys have a top 10 pick? I know the Lakers, and you guys Lakers fans out there, you need to start checking out the March Madness because there are players at the back end of the first round you might need to check out and might be interested in. So, Legend, you, because of the grace of and kindness of the New Orleans Pelicans, may actually have a top 5 pick, at least a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
So how enticing is that, and how hard are you looking at as far as the NBA draft? Because I am focused in on trying to find some of those players at the end of the first round the Lakers may be interested in.
Well, I am looking at Boozer from Duke. I'm looking at, I forgot that kid name from North Carolina. He's from Georgia. Would love to bring him back to Atlanta. Love to get him back in home. The kid from Kansas, I'm a little iffy about him because of all the missing games, getting out the games. And
are you talking about Caleb Wilson?
Yeah, Caleb Wilson was a kid from North Carolina. Yes, he got injured, so he could not play, which is part of the reason why North Carolina lost today. But you're talking also about Daryl Peterson in Kansas, as far as him, because if they win the lottery, Joe, or if they move up in the lottery, they are talking a top 5 pick, courtesy of New Orleans Pelicans. That's how
I'm gonna send him a thank you package too.
Yeah, enjoy Derek Queen. There you go. And then for the Lakers, Joe, I mean, again, we have to make the pick. We can trade the pick once we make the pick, Joe. But would you like to see, like, Legend's just salivating right now, just to see, he's just like, exactly, just let's win that lottery. But Joe, when you see what's going on in March Madness, what do you see as far as, do you think the Lakers, looking a little bit of long range as far as some of the things that do need some work as far as on the back end of the roster, do you want to see an infusion of youth, maybe the Lakers going with the draft pick, or do you see it possibly being moved after they make that decision?
The only way they trade this pick is if they go after someone like Giannis. And that would include Austin Reeves in that deal. Something to throw in here, which now is a discussion, because my friends, being Laker fans, are pretty greedy.
Of course.
Right.
I've never known Laker fans not to be greedy.
I mean, they went deep on this one. I have to hand it to them after tonight's game. I get text messages and stuff. So someone had mentioned, what if Giannis wants to come to LA and LeBron stays? So I started just shaking my head reading that. I'm like, you guys, can you just enjoy the game tonight? Do we have to really talk about this?
They're going to give you those what ifs. They give you those what ifs.
For me, in terms of the draft, if It's going to be difficult to win the title, regardless how good they're playing. Absolutely hard. It's going to be so hard because Oklahoma City's so good. Boston, when they those guys don't miss, right? When they're on a heater, they don't miss for a whole game. So if they end up in the finals and the Lakers somehow manage to get there, they're a problem too, right? To me, it's really Oklahoma City, Boston, and then a little bit of San Antonio because they do have a pedigree in San Antonio, even though they're still young. I don't know how that's going to play out because we don't know how health is going to factor into this. If everybody's healthy, then it's not likely that the Lakers are going to probably make it through it. It could be competitive series, but I think it's probably going to go Oklahoma City's way on the West. And then Boston's a little tricky because Boston has lost series in the East when their shot doesn't go. They've lost to New York. I know Tatum got hurt last year, but they've lost some series because the shots weren't going down, and then that was it. They weren't able to get past Miami one year, New York one year. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think about the East yet.
Cunningham just had that collapsed lung, so that
and Cade Cunningham getting hurt, and even if he wasn't hurt, they're still a young team. I don't know if they were going to be able to make a serious run. They could have because it is the East, but I don't know. I don't know how that would play out. But if I had to pick two teams right now that are better, for sure, is Boston and Oklahoma City. And then San Antonio is there too, but their youth may bring them to maybe an even level if the Lakers are playing like this in the playoffs.
Just for me, it depends on how they can guard Wembanyama. How does Wembanyama react in his first playoffs? So that'll be his second round by then if the Lakers meet up with him, Legend. So that's the key, I think. Your Atlanta Hawks, they could easily by the end of the weekend be in fifth place and now be in a bigger conversation in the playoffs as far as that's concerned, the way that they're rolling. But for the Lakers, again, Joe, he's right. Boston is obviously now with Tatum back a lot stronger and looking possibly like they could have a nice run or an easier run in the East. And in the West, with OKC winning 10 in a row, they look to be getting healthy and primed at the right time. And then you have also as well San Antonio. I'm a little higher on San Antonio. I think they can do some damage now. I think Wembanyama is that special type of player with that special type of mentality. I think that I appreciate. He's cutthroat. He does it to you and says it to you in a nice way, but he really wants to go ahead and stab you in the back while doing it. So your thoughts, my friend, because the playoff race is heating up. But if something goes wrong for a team like up in the Boston or a team like OKC, SGA gets hurt or something like that, we could find ourselves, if Atlanta keeps on that roll and the LA Lakers keep on their roll, we could see them making a larger imprint on the playoffs upcoming.
Injury can definitely change everything. And the one person, if I'm Oklahoma, you have to worry about the most is your second best player. That's the one who's been missing the most games this whole season. But other than that, I mean, they're cooking. They're cooking, and like Joe said, if I had to really sit here and pick it right now, I'd probably say I'm looking at a potential OKC versus Boston finals. But I can't count out Wemby. Wemby ain't got no experience, but the kid is greatness already. He's arrived a lot sooner than any of us expected, and they look good right now.
I literally like the one that's going to cower from the spotlight. I expect him to embrace. So I'm just seeing his demeanor, seeing how he approaches the game. He just seems like he has that mentality. I don't want to go as far as Michael Jordan, Kobe-ish type deal yet. Obviously, you can't say that, but the things he says and does, he wanted that organization to win now. He wasn't on their plan as far as waiting and progressing and whatnot. He wanted them to win at this level now. So so now that the team he realizes, I think that, or he's going to realize that he has to take that team on his back in order to win some games against teams like LA and OKC and Denver and Boston and all those teams right there.
And that's one of my biggest reasons why I tried to tell someone today that, you know what, the Spurs, they don't have a lot of experience. They're young. Wemby's young. But when you are great, you will overcome that experience. Only one way to gain experience. You just got to go through the fire. Go through it, get through it. If you're that good, you can overcome it. And you are that good. A lot of people said the same thing about the Thunders too. Inexperience. Too young. They shut all that down when they went and won that championship last year. It's
Did
not
Indiana
impossible.
have a ton of experience?
Exactly. Indiana didn't either. Things happen.
Just
You ain't
outside
got to
of
always have
Gotham?
experience. You do not always got to have experience to win it. If you are good, you can get through it. If you are truly good and are ready, Wemby's ready. It's possible that can happen. So I can understand a lot of people going to bring up the experience with the Spurs, but I would not be surprised if the Spurs make it to the NBA Finals. I would not be surprised. Wemby's that great. He's arrived a lot sooner, which is why I've been saying for the longest, the West is just going to get harder and harder. It's just about to get even worse for teams to get out of it.
But we saw in Houston, Joe, a superstar player in Kevin Durant. Now, I don't want to put him at Wemby's level now because Kevin Durant is 37 and Wembanyama is playing at elite level now at a much younger age. But they were able to take a top scorer in the league and nullify him for 4 quarters with a right way of coaching and a right way of doing things on the defensive end. If they can drop a game plan against Wembanyama, it's something that they have to go ahead and be able to do. There is a possibility that they could find themselves in a conference finals against OKC, Joe. I really do. I really think at this point that there is a possibility they could find their way if they find a way to go ahead and get Wembanyama a defense against Wembanyama that will be effective over a 7-game span.
Well, I mean, if you go back to the earlier matchup in November, the Lakers frustrated Wemby, and it wasn't a trap at the top of the 3-point line or at the top of the key. It was really in the block, which what Wemby's going to have to do is he's going to have to develop. The guy's 10 feet tall, so I'd like to think he will. He needs to develop a really good passing game because that's the only way you're going to stop him. And even at 10 feet tall, you're still going to be trapped by guys like DeAndre Ayton, especially if it's close to the basket, and other guys that are 6'7" with long arms. It's still going to be a distraction because these guys are tenacious NBA players. They're going to make you feel uncomfortable. His team are going to need to hit shots. And this is the part where we all know that sphincters get smaller in the playoffs, and it really gets small when it's younger players. So if the Lakers get past the first round and they face San Antonio, the real intriguing matchup would be if Denver finishes 7th, which I don't think is going to happen, but let's just say they did. That would be an interesting matchup. Denver versus San Antonio. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. I mean, I didn't think Denver would be, counting the tiebreaker, 4 games behind us at this moment, right? And Phoenix lost tonight. If they had won, it would have been probably an even more interesting thought on how that could play out. But if they ended up playing Denver in the first round, that's a tough matchup. And maybe playing Phoenix would be a tough matchup. That's another young team that's got nothing to lose. So you just don't know. I think they get past whomever anyways, but the Lakers right now need a little bit of luck. I think they need a little bit of luck. And I don't wish injuries on anyone, but the story has been the last few years that injuries have played a huge part in certain teams not being able to get past the rounds that they probably should because their main guy is out or an important second guy. To me, Jalen Williams is arguably the second best player on Oklahoma City, but I actually think the most valuable player beyond SGA is actually Chet Holmgren because he's the guy that does both things. Jalen plays well as a two-way player, yes, but Chet's a big man in a league that doesn't have a lot of big men. because of the fact that big men don't have a lot of value in the league because most don't shoot well, most can't cover ground. Well, guess what he does well? He can shoot and he can cover a lot of ground, and he's a big. So that's it. That's kind of where I'm at on the future. And I know we're probably getting ahead of ourselves here, but what else can we say that we haven't talked about here for the last few days? I mean, how much more compliments can we give this team before we're being redundant? Whatever they're doing, please keep doing it. Win or lose. I have been ridiculously satisfied with everyone's ability this last few weeks. I'm very proud of the team. I'm very proud of how they're playing. I'm very proud. LeBron, I was very, very excited about LeBron's game in 2020 because I saw him win an assist title when I never expected that. I didn't expect him to do what he did in 2020. He was just running and gunning. He was supposed to be old, right? And a lot of the reasons why they won that year, a lot of the reasons why they were the 1 seed at the time before COVID shut things down, he was running and gunning. This year, this last few weeks, he's playing like he is playing basketball with Albert Einstein IQ and executing at the same time. If LeBron is going to play like this and Luka is going to continue to do what he's doing and everyone buys into their positions, they're going to have a chance. Every game, every single game, because Luka is a dangerous human being on the court, and LeBron is dangerous in another way. He's still a controlled freight train going down the hole. And then, of course, you have Austin Reeves, who's the guy that can create contact going to the basket. And then if he can just get a little bit better from outside in terms of shooting, goes a long way to really keeping things honest. So that's it. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited about what's coming. We're getting a treat, and being a Laker fan is we are the most spoiled basketball fan base I think that's ever existed.
Not going to argue.
I don't blame anybody for hating the Lakers at this point. I don't.
Not going to argue with you there.
Come on, man. He's sitting around. AD's crumbling daily. LeBron doesn't know what's going to happen. All that stuff going on with Clutch. And then out of nowhere, they just trip over a branch, and here comes Luka Doncic. Like, really? As far as what you guys were talking about before I came on with Dallas, imagine this. This is the first thing I thought of when you guys were talking about that earlier. Imagine if they hadn't gotten Cooper Kupp. If they hadn't gotten Cooper Kupp, I think you might have had some psychos do some things at the stadium. Cooper Flag might have saved the arena from vandalism. I don't promote that. I don't condone that, but I'm just saying, if it wasn't for Cooper Flag, oh my God, it would have been torture. Thanks. Thank you, Dallas. I still blame the ownership, by the way. Y'all can blame Nico Harrison all you want. That deal only gets made by the shot caller. The shot caller, if he's smart or she's smart, always makes you think that they're not the boss. That's an old mafia thing. That's an old organized crime. The good ones never get saddled with the blame because they have another way of getting the message out. So stop blaming Nico Harrison, Dallas, and people that don't understand how logic works. This was not a Nico Harrison thing. This was an ownership thing. They didn't want Luka. Luka owned that team figuratively. And these owners, guys, have such large egos and small weenies and beans. When somebody steps to them, even especially if it's somebody that works for them, they do stupid stuff. Never ever underestimate an insecure man with money. That's the most dangerous being on the planet. Everyone says, "Oh, there's hell have no fury with a woman scorned." No, 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 no. That's the second probably worst. The worst one is an insecure man with money. He is the worst being on the planet.
And with that, it is, of course.
I went a little deep on that one, didn't I?
You did, yes.
What do you think? What do you think, Legend? Did I go too deep on that one? Did it at least make sense, though?
It makes sense, though.
Right? Like Nico Harrison. I keep hearing Nico Harrison. I'm like, Nico's not there anymore. Why do you keep blaming Nico Harrison?
Man, dude, Ben got fired.
Call it by common sense. Ownership green lights that. I have to have proof to see if Nico went in there and said, "Listen, this is going to make the team better." Well, what do you mean make the team better? Everybody loves Luka. That was an ownership decision. Until somebody tells me otherwise and proves it to me. And I have not seen that proof anywhere. So,
well, there you go. And once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Lakers do win.
And that's true. That's true, Drip. You know who was like that, Gerald?
Who's that?
Not in a sadistic way, but Jim Buss. Jim Buss was so adamant about Andrew Bynum being the future because he wanted to be right. He wanted to be that guy. Hey, I picked Andrew Bynum because Andrew Bynum was the 10th pick in the 2005 draft, and he was a project. He wasn't the guy that he wasn't a Dwight Howard or a Kwame Brown before they came out. Like he was, is this guy going to make it or not? And they picked him 10th, and he had not a bad career. I actually liked Bynum, but you can't keep doubling up trying to get your money back. And Jim Buss happened to be a horse guy. He was around horses and horse racing his whole life. I think that's what he was trying to do so that he could feel good about what he was doing. But you were killing progress. Andrew Bynum was never going to be a one in this league. He didn't have the mentality for it, even if he was healthy. You have to have a certain mentality to be a number one and be a championship contender year in, year out. And history has told you enough, Jim Buss, that the Lakers don't really draft their number ones usually. They usually go get them. Magic's really the only one. Well, Magic, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West. Yeah, that's it. Everybody else, Wilt, Kareem, Shaq, LeBron, AD, all acquired or traded. Little history lesson for the Lakers for everyone. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here all morning.
Legend, before we head on out, my friend, again, continued luck in the March Madness. Hopefully there's no more high points on either of our brackets. Again, I think you're leading by a small margin because I think you have the better ultimate results. We both are, I think that you have a better max score that you can get than mine. But again, give us an update of what's going on with I Got Next Sports Media. Obviously, you're riding high with the Hawks. Obviously, hearing the news that Steve Kerr has just said, we know we're going to the play-in. We know, basically paraphrasing, but that's what he said. He said they already know they're going. He's already told the team, and the team knows they're already going to the play-in. So one team is riding high of yours. One team is not so much. But what you doing at I Got Next Sports Media, my friend?
I will definitely probably be analyzing the game this Saturday. Still trying to decide I want to go in person or not. I looked at the ticket prices just to see what it's looking like, knowing Curry ain't playing. But I'm probably gonna definitely analyze how that game goes. And bad thing about liking both teams, well, I guess I'm at to help the Warriors pack their bags up for the play-in because we had to go and give them that L on Saturday. But definitely gonna talk about that game a little bit. Gonna continue to probably going and start going over the NCAA tournament tomorrow, and then probably look at the women's side of the bracket and talk about how the WNBA has got their CBA agreement and the season is going to start on time in May. So it look like I will be able to go to some Atlanta Dream games in person without no problems.
There you go. Absolutely. So they've come to a verbal agreement. So we'll see if the league ratifies it, and obviously the players vote on it. I think they'll go ahead and they'll get it done. So I'm hopeful for a season going forward for the WNBA. But Joe, oh, actually, make sure you go ahead and stop on by. I got Next Sports Media. Make sure you go ahead and check him out there. Legend does a great job each and every time he goes on the air for that. But to answer your question again, Trojan, because you asked if Vanderbilt injured. No, Vando is not injured. Only Maxi Kleber is the current Lakers player that's out of that's in the rotation, that's out of the lineup right now with a back injury. Day-to-day basis, not with the team right now. Probably will at the earliest probably come back probably when the team comes back next week. But Joe, no Vando. We're not high. We're not on Vando Hill, Trojan. To be honest with you, you know the show. We're not Vando supporters, so it doesn't see it. We're not shedding tears right now, Joe. That the Lakers are riding
Vando's
high.
physicalness is not injured, but his game is an injury waiting to happen,
There you go.
or has already happened. I know it's brutal, and I know it's not in good taste. He's a Laker. We should support all the Laker players, but Vando's game is just not good. It's just not. He is deficient in so many ways, in so many areas, and it's more tragic that a man that's built like a god. When you build a basketball player, you usually build them like Jared Vanderbilt. Guy is shredded to all hell. Like if Jared Vanderbilt bodybuilded for 20 years, he'd look like he wouldn't look human. He'd look like an experiment that was, because that's how great his genetics are, right? 6'8". Most bodybuilders are not going to be that big, but in terms of his genetics, in terms of his muscle tone and the length of his arms and being athletic, it's almost worse. It's almost worse that he doesn't play well because of those things. And the Lakers, here's the great thing about where the Lakers are going to go here is they've solidified themselves with the Luka era this year already. How LeBron plays into this will depend on the end result now, right? We've talked about that. Austin looks like might be staying, barring a major flub in the playoffs. I don't know about that. Not really 100% on max contracts or any of that stuff yet. But I do know this. I do know that the new ownership will be bringing in more talent, more defensive type players, guys that can shoot. So get ready in the next couple of years. I think that's what's going to happen, unless something happens and they go after Giannis this summer. What's so funny? What did Vari do now?
Mark is just like, so he's not even here, and he's dwelling on Vari. Wants me to get rid of him as a mod, and he's not even here, Joe. He has a
Why would you want Mark? Why would you want to get rid of Vari as a mod when he's not even here? Vari, I told you guys think I'm joking. Vari's gone, guys. Playback was his Bunker Hill. Read up on it. It's a sad story. It's his Bunker Hill, man. I mean, I guess I've extended a little bit more exaggeration to it, but not really. There is a legitimate thing that changed. Playback going away changed Sports Baby. That was his baby, man. He was on it like flies on shit. Like white on rice. And then when it went down, it was a 48-hour window, man. I remember there was depression. You could feel it.
Carino, don't worry about it. It's cool. It's just all in the chat.
Plus, Mark, you got to understand too, is he's making coffee. You know how much he loves coffee. He's an artist with that shit. So playback, it took a little bit of that coffee exuberance. It replaced it, right? Because he had shut down his business. And then when playback died, like 2025 was a bad year for Sports Baby, man. Or the beginning of the 2026. Like, he lost the coffee and he lost playback. Now he's got coffee back. So now that takes precedent. So there you go. I know everybody's looking at me going, what the is this guy talking about?
I got to catch up on 2 questions from JY. Legend, I'll go ahead and start off the first one that you mentioned. While Joe's laughing.
Carino, that's part of the comedy. I know you guys don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but it's like the inside joke at a party, and you're just sitting there like, what? Huh? Who?
Don't worry about it, Karina. It's all good. It's all good, man. It's just, again, it's this chat. Legend, first question by JY. I'm paraphrasing now, but how good does it look for Luka compared to some of the other MVP candidates? Does he have a worse supporting cast around him and still being able to be in this conversation?
He looks good. Whose supporting cast is better?
Does it look better because he might have a worse supporting cast? Because right now the Lakers bench wise, they're the 29th scoring bench in the entire NBA. I mean, people wonder why, like Trojan is asking why Vando's not in there. That's a good start right there when you're getting nothing from your bench. So
yeah,
your thoughts, Legend?
I had to say for Luka, it does make him look that good because of your bench is atrocious.
Because Kennard hasn't given you anything in days now for a while. Like, he hasn't really anything good.
Like you kind of need Luka to drop that 35, get your 25 from AR, then you get your 20 from LeBron. You kind of need that. Then you get your 15 to 16 from DeAndre Ayton. Like you kind of need those points. 15 from Marcus Smart. You need those points because you ain't getting much from Jake LaRavia and Luke Kennard and everybody on that bench. You ain't getting too much from them. You need them boys to go out there and drop that bid, so it does make Luka look highly, highly, highly like a real MVP. Because you take Luka off the team, I'm not for sure what you is at that point. Might be a play-in team. Hard to say, but it makes Luka look more and more like an MVP. While SGA, he has a strong supporting cast. You got a strong second man. You got a strong bench. To me, what really probably could boost Luka up a little over SGA is when I leave from my starting unit, you can really your bench player probably could be some starters in other places around the league. While you look at the Lakers bench, I don't know what to say about that bench. I had to look down and wonder which one of y'all gonna show up today or you on vacation. I look at the Thunder's bench. I can go 12 deep and not have to worry too much. So yeah, it made Luka's argument look a whole lot stronger. Just knowing that his supporting cast is not as great as SGA is.
Joe, final question for you, my friend. Where does Luka rank in Lakers history of the best scorers? JY is asking.
Oh, he's on his way to being. He already. He had an interesting stat. I'm trying to see if I can remember. It was 250 points. What was it?
Lakers single season leader in 3-point shots made.
That he decimated D'Angelo Russell's.
With 12 games to go.
Yeah, he already within first full season, right? If Luka plays 10 seasons for the Lakers, he will be the. I think he's going to win probably 3 or 4 scoring titles. He'll be the greatest scorer in Laker history, even more so than Kobe. And that's not a knock on Kobe. Kobe, unfortunately, for us fans, relinquished that stat. He chose to not chase those things. And the thing with Luka is okay. I've said this about Steph Curry being an HG, which is a hybrid guard. Luka is not an HG. He is a legit point guard who can score. It's not. I know it doesn't make any sense, but the reason why I say this is if you want proof, I never really saw Steph do the things that Luka does in terms of the passing game. Luka does passing like a traditional point guard, scores like a scoring guard. Steph he's one of the best ball handling shooting guards I've ever seen. That's the difference. But he's not necessarily the guy that's going to go drop 10, 12 assists on a regular basis. Am I wrong on that, or am I confused? Legend, help me out with this. Is that right? Am I right there, or did I miss something during his prime?
Nah, I think he's spot on.
Right? Because Steph's job was to scare the shit out of every single team he was playing. And when he was behind that 3-point line, you couldn't do anything. It didn't matter. He could shoot from the logo. He could shoot from the corner. He could shoot from the top. He could shoot from the sides. He could shoot with one hand, two hand. Didn't matter. So by taking him away from that, you actually were helping Golden State. With Luka is the traditional point guard who can actually score and shoot. And he's 6'8", and he's a big boy. That's why Luka is touted the way he is. But like anything else, at some point, there's going to be a group, a narrative that nitpicks that player. There was no one remembers this because most people weren't alive, and we weren't old enough. Some of us weren't old. People were saying before Jordan won a championship, scoring guard's never going to win a championship.
Oh, yeah, that was said all the time.
Right?
You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
I heard it that day. Yeah.
We're
Jordan
prisoners
will never
of
win
the
a
moment.
championship because he's too selfish. That's
Right.
what I heard all the time.
Right. We're all prisoners of the moment if we're not careful. And if you don't remember your history well, it's even worse. That's why I bring up some of the stories about Kobe. Everybody kissing Kobe's ass now. And I'm not even talking about it after he passed away. I'm not talking about, I was saying this after he'd retired between 16 and before he passed away. Oh, everybody's yapping about Kobe doing this, and that. Oh, you guys were, Kobe never passes and Kobe is selfish. Oh, did you guys hear about him and Jeremy Lin? Did you hear about him and Smush Parker? Oh, he never talked to anybody, and look what's going on. But it's interesting that everyone formed that opinion, but when you talk to Rick Fox, when you talk to B. Shaw, when you talk to D. Fish, the guys that were in the locker room during that time when Kobe was being aloof, they never dogged him. How come Derek Fisher never dogged him? How come Rick Fox never dogged B. Shaw? And those guys are very, very stable mentally, stable. They're stable men. They're stable people. And I'm not saying Shaq wasn't stable, but Shaq had a little bit of immaturity there that he sort of still has. It's just who he is. So that's how I judge those type of things. And of course, I hear everything and I remember everything. We all think everything's better now. I'm sorry, worse now. Shit was going on way before this, guys. They were calling Magic tragic when he was losing. Don't forget that. They were calling Kareem finished for the last 7 years of his career. He's finished. Dude, they made a movie on it. They made Airplane. There's a line in there. Do you run back on defense? And he gets mad as a shtick. So where I'm going with this now is you guys are talking about the MVP. This is why I have been saying for years, and baseball seems to have this down better. They've messed up a couple times, but more often than not, they don't get voter fatigue. Vote for the best player in the NBA that year. Stop going through a checklist. Oh, are they a 1 seed? Oh, is their team good enough? Oh, is their second guy enough? Oh, when you do that, you start screwing up on who is supposed to get the MVP. It says National Basketball Association's most valuable player. The award says the National Basketball Association's most valuable player. That means the league. He is the most valuable player of the league. You want a team award? That's what they have team awards for. They give MVPs to the team. When they have the little banquet at the end of the year, everybody votes for the MVP of their team. Leave that for that. The MVP belongs to the best player on the planet that year in that league. So the question I'm going to ask everyone is, Who is a better basketball player right now? SGA or Luka? We all know SGA is going to win it. Fuck all that right now. The hell with that right now. Who's a better basketball player? SGA or Luka Doncic? It's a hard one. It's a very hard one. But here's the clincher, and that's not a pun. Oh, pun intended, I should say. Who do you trust? If it's evened out, who do you trust in the end? SGA or Luka? And that's how I would divide it. That's how I would divide it. Just say. But it's going to come off biased on my end. It doesn't matter what I say.
That's true. But again, can't say haters or the detractors for Luka.
You can say haters all you want, but to me, it's always the term hater. Like for example, that scumbag piece of shit Skip Bayless has made a career being a hater.
Well, even our own, like Nick T, he wasn't here tonight. Funny how that is.
I think Nick T. I think Luka must have done. Maybe he refused the autograph to him or something.
Yo, he be hiding when them good games show up.
There you go.
I mean, what's the discrimination there, Nick T? I want to know what it is. What's going on there? Do you not like Slovenians? You know, he is a quarter Serbian. I don't know if a lot of those guys in the Eastern Bloc, man, sometimes they get too political with that stuff. It's sad.
There's just no argument, Joe, right now. There's just no argument right now for what Luka is doing. And it's again, it's a deafening quiet, Legend and Joe. When you see a player playing at that level that has such divisiveness, like LeBron, or in this case, Luka, and you're seeing it right now. He is quieting all the doubters, all the people who 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago were on his case and just killing him left and right. And seeing these national reporters saying that the Laker fans are divided on Luka, saying that they're pushback on Luka, and all that stuff. Yeah, well, like you said, Legend, all it takes is a win streak to change everyone's mind. So there you go. Jay Wise has switched them around. SGA or Luka, would Lakers beat 3 in the West? Or you're saying if they were switched, Legend, if they were switched and it was SGA on the Lakers and Luka on LA, would we be in the same exact spot? And would they be in the same exact spot?
I definitely know for the fact Thunder's gonna still be the same. Okay, you got a strong supporting cast. That part won't change. Him on the Lakers, I don't know. Might be close to about where they at right now. Maybe not exactly, but close to it. Because he's not gonna be putting up numbers like Luka though. So I'm gonna say maybe close to it, but not exactly. Not exactly what I'm saying.
And Tony, I would say right now, because you've seen Minnesota and Denver and Houston struggle, you have to say the Lakers have all the momentum right now as a true 3 seed at this point. You can't deny it. We can't deny it. We've been saying all we said. Our panelists, we all saw the Lakers as a 4th, 5th, 6th place team in the Western Conference, but they are playing above those expectations right now, and the teams below them are not, Joe.
Well, I like Steph. Is it Stefan or Stefan?
Yeah, I was answering Tony's question though.
Tony too. Tony asked a good question. Hold on, let me answer this first. Are they a true 3? Yes, absolutely, as true as they can be at this point. Yes. The thing is with Luka is the guy's a savant, and it's not to trivialize or to degrade anyone else in the league, but you made a good point there, Stefan, in terms of Luka hasn't really ever had a team for a full year that was built for him. And that's a rarity anyways. Timing of things. Kobe, I've talked about this before, and I know Kobe went to 3 straight finals in 2008 and 2010. But that wasn't the Kobe that was in 2003, 2008. Kobe really never had his Thanos powers with the right team. He missed out on that middle part. He missed out. The first phase of his career, he was young, coming up, doing amazing things, but he never had the team when he was at his peak. And I know that's crazy to say. The guy was dropping 48 points, getting 16 rebounds on the road and closing games against Sacramento 21. But Kobe between 03 and 08, really 03 and 07. And that's just like in anything, guys. Boxers, I think because people box longer and people play longer in their sports, that doesn't mean that they were the best they weren't at the peak of a prime is usually 5 years. Boxing, it varies between 3 and 5 because of a punishment that they take. When they talk about Muhammad Ali, really Muhammad Ali never had his peak powers when he was fighting because he lost out on 3 years because of the Vietnam War, him not saying he didn't want to go. And there's a distinct difference when you see Muhammad Ali fighting Sonny Liston versus when he fought Joe Frazier. If Joe Frazier in Ali Frazier 1 had fought the guy that fought Sonny Liston, Frazier wouldn't have lasted 5 rounds. So what I'm saying is the advantage that Shai Gilgeous has had so far the last 2 years is he has had a formidable built team around his talent, and he's at his peak. Luka needs probably 2 more seasons to get that, really. I'm not saying he can't win because Kobe won with, not having the peaks, but Luka needs to have his own. I want those wings. I want those wings, not the ones to eat. I just had some, by the way, and another pun on accident. But if he gets a couple of 3-and-D guys in there that are damn good, and you got a really good center like a Chet Holmgren type, right? The guy that can defend, shoot, guard, whatever. Dude, you'll see the difference between him and SGA at that point. Luka has not yet gotten the team that's formed for him. He had it for a slight little area like this much the last quarter end of that 2024 season, but they ran out of gas because the guys were young still. Those guys are still developing. The PJ Washingtons, they were traded that year into this thing, and you got a lot of working parts at that point. He was able to make it work for a run, but it ended up hitting the wall at the end because everybody was just beat, right? And once he gets his athletes around him, whoo-wee. I think he's going to get it for about 5 years, guys. That's what the Guggenheims are going to do. Look for 5 years of Luka being equipped with exactly what he needs to win, and he's going to win probably at least 3 championships as a Laker.
And there you have it. It is, of course, the Lakers getting the victory tonight, 134.
That's true, Carino. I'm sorry, Gerald. I got to answer this because it's important. There are 2 places that have the greatest ranch on the planet. Number 1 is Wingstop. The other is Red Robin. You can drink that. You can drink that stuff. It's so good.
Have you heard anything about the ranch at Magic City?
Spot on, man. Spot on.
So they got good ranch at Magic City?
They got the best wings in the Georgia area.
So go over there because I used to go to Hooters when it was popular, and everyone thought I was going over there to get my jollies off. I said, no, I'm there for the wings. They're like, hey, whatever.
That was they had one in Vegas in Hooters Hotel. That was such a letdown. Such a letdown because it was like all the hype was you go and the wings are just like.
Speaking of Vegas, Gerald, what is this I hear about Mark Davis possibly selling the majority stake in the Raiders? What happened there?
It's just conversations right now. Just possibly with Tom Brady, talking into his ear could be a possibility. I mean, why not sell at one of the highest points right now that you can for the team? The team is still profitable. Yes, they're terrible on field product, but they're making a ton of money in that new stadium that they're at right now. So you might want to consider selling. I'll say, I mean, unless you really have faith that Mendoza is going to get you to that much of a higher realm and much more value than what you have. But the Raiders right now, even with their futility on the field, are one of the most valuable teams in the NFL.
Yeah, they jumped really. Well, if you want to know why teams are going to Vegas, just look at Mark Davis's net worth. It blew up even with the lousy team. So if you want to know why they're going to Vegas, there's this.
It's always about that.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us.
Game sucks. I think that's the understatement of the year.
Well, it's funny because Xbox said, trading Gabe away really helped the team's morale.
I'm serious, man. I don't think he's far off
as well.
Gabe, but then Atlanta's winning now.
Yes,
I guess it worked out.
It's called the change of scenery that worked for everyone.
Yeah, you said it was all about Jonathan Kuminga legend. Was it really?
I mean, I guess he done his part, but I think Kuminga's done the most stuff.
Well, Kuminga finally got out of the Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr just didn't like him.
And you're gonna take
Sometimes that happens. Coach just don't like you.
Well, I'll tell you what, we like you, especially if you like and subscribe. Will the A's change their name? I hope so. I hope so. But
Las Vegas Athletics sounds cool.
I'm going to tell you a story.
It's too much history there, G.
There's
too much history. You got to keep the A's name.
Let me just say this: shopping at the mall, going by a name brand sporting goods store, a huge sporting goods store. They have a dedicated baseball section, a dedicated Major League Baseball section. Yeah, guess what color it is, Joe?
Blue.
All blue.
I know, but
that and the Aviators, which is orange. So it's blue and it's orange.
This is different, though. This is different, though.
There? Green. Nobody wants the A's there.
It doesn't matter. People don't determine these things animorebecause people.
They don't. I know that.
But you can't get rid of the A's name. You're talking about some of the greatest. The most winningest manager was a Philadelphia Athletic back in the dead ball era and those times, and Reggie Jackson and Raleigh Fingers, and these guys won championships. They got to keep, and we're talking about a good amount of championships. We're talking about 9. They're tied with the Dodgers. They won several pennants. They've won several division titles. There's a lot of history here. So, barring the concern of there not being able to get certain trademarks, you got to keep that name. You got to keep that history there. Much like what's going to likely happen here. I don't know for sure, but it's going to make sense. Once they approve the Vegas and the Seattle Supersonics again, the Oklahoma City Thunder will turn in.
Yeah.
They will turn in the Larry O'Brien Trophy from '79 back to the new Seattle Supersonics, and I think that's great. By the way, I think that's probably something they want to do, especially now that they have their title, and by then they might have another title too. And then they will become a retroactive expansion team from 08.
Stefan, don't get us started on Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka does not have the get out of jail free card yet from us. We'll just leave it at that. No. Again, one good period does not an entire resume make. I equate it to the college student. Okay, they're about ready to graduate, but they've got nothing but C's, D's, and F's. But they got that one A. They got that one thesis paper that got them an A. Give them applause. Give them a pat on the back for that one A that they've got. But you cannot ignore the C's, D's, and F's they've got along the way. And I'll just leave it at that. Nick T was driving. He was listening to us all the way. So, Nick, thank you for watching this thing. And I'm going to give you props because you're here. You said great game by Luka. Absolutely. Just it was a great game by Luka, and you're here to go ahead and say it. So you were driving. I'm glad you were driving safe and not rage commenting while you were trying to drive on the highway. So long drive. No worries, my friend. I'm just glad you made it safe. Dripsel said, guys, how did the Supersonics change their name when they moved? Dripsel was asking me what I thought about. How did they get their name changed when they moved to Oklahoma?
And Oklahoma City. First of all, Oklahoma City was fiending on getting a team over there. I think there was a time where when New Orleans was in flux, they kind of hosted the then Hornets, and they missed out on an expansion team again from New Orleans, right?
Mhm.
They wanted their identity right away. It's the thunderstorms of Oklahoma, right? That's probably what it's from. So I believe also that
create their own identity.
Correct. And I think that was the right thing to do. This, there's no supersonic. I still say that the Utah Jazz did a disservice to their franchise by not calling themselves the Mammoth before the Mammoth of hockey. Utah should have changed the name from. There's no Jazz in Utah, at least not prevalent.
Don't start on the Jazz because Bryce Sensabaugh goes off for 41 last night, and suddenly today he has an illness.
Well, I think it's funny that when they put Jazz
and
on
they still won though. The Jazz still won. That was
they put Jazz. They put Jazz on their shirt with a mountain behind it,
and it's New Orleans Jazz.
New Orleans Jazz, yeah.
There you go.
The Lakers get a little bit of that too because they're like, well, what the hell does a Laker have to do with LA? Well, at least in LA there are man-made lakes. It's a lot of man-made lakes.
It's a reach a little bit, but it just flows well. How about that? It just flows.
It does. The Los Angeles Lakers, and there are lakes in LA. People forget that it is a desert / mountain. It's there's a lot of climates in Southern California.
But no, that's fine. I love the name. I'll keep the name indeed. Yeah. But make sure you follow Legend I Got Next Sports Media. Go ahead and like and subscribe.
And there are no Grizzlies in Memphis too. Just another one there.
Or Mammoth in Utah. But also as well, like and subscribe to the Joe Soro.
Well, that's not true. It's not now, but that's
there
at
was,
least
but yeah, like now that there's not.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of I think it's a cool name though.
By the way, Nick T had to get his last shot in there. He says SGA is still better. So yeah, there you go.
Where you been the whole show?
Well, he was driving. To his credit, he was driving. So yes, don't chat and drive. That's fine. That's fine. I don't want to get the blame for him if he, upends his car and does a 360 in the interstate. So yeah.
Because you're driving, Nick, I'm not going to say anything. But next time you get on the show, I'll Nick these nuts when
Fair enough. Thamus says, I thought we'd be fourth in the West to start the season. Midway, I had serious doubt, but we're looking good again. Any chance of burning out before the playoffs, or is this sustainable? Their schedule's still hard, but again, those last 5 games, there could be some teams taking some time off, with some players taking some time off. Like I just mentioned Utah, that's the last game of the year, but depends if the Lakers decide they want to have some players take some time off. If they've got the 3rd seed locked up, that could be a factor as well. Because again, remember last season, the Lakers they had to play to the very last game of the season. And obviously it affected them during the playoffs. But again, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do get the victory, a great victory for the Lakers. Less than 24 hours after winning in Houston, they fly to Miami and win 134-126. Make sure you go ahead and check us out with the latest NBA observations I had with Caleb Ponce. I'm hoping to get Legend or Matt John or somebody I can see if we can get something done tomorrow for you guys for an NBA observations for Friday. But if not, hopefully the Lakerholics can make up for it on Saturday as well. And then, of course, the game against Orlando. And they're going to be the Magic Kingdom. Will they have time to go ahead and check out any Disney World attractions, Joe, before we head it out?
I hope they can get some rest. They absolutely earned. I can't say how proud I am of this 3 and 4 night stretch. One of the best stretches I've seen in a while.
Yep, I agree. 100%.
I would have Austin Reeves sit in a tub for half a day, a sauna the other half of the day,
ice bath.
Do it all. Get that cold and get that heat. Eat well. Eat real well. Something that's going to energize you for the Orlando game, and keep the ball rolling, guys. You want the momentum that's going on right now to keep going. And especially if you can win in Orlando and in Miami after doing all this, oh man, that's the way to go, baby. That's the way to go.
Good question. Good question on John. I know yesterday he was dealing with his basketball. He said he was dominating on the court for his rec league. I don't know where he is today. But check out Lakers Corner. So go ahead and make sure
John's gonna feel a Lambeer elbow once we play. We'll see how good he is after that.
There you go. Legend, you got to get on this, man. If we were able to someday get a game going here in Vegas with all of us there, that would be a great game indeed.
Hey, I will be more than happy to make that flight.
There you go. Absolutely. Jay West says LeBron is showing his sons what it takes to be a role player, since that's what Bronny and Bryce are.
Taking the shots.
I don't know if I would put as high a role player for them. Maybe on a G League team.
Yeah, G League team. Yeah. NBA. Yeah.
Role players don't drop triple doubles, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry. Role players don't drop triple doubles like that. Today, that man controlled the game the entire night with his boy Luka.
Do you think it's a message that he had to play tonight, being the all-time games leader? But do you think it's also, as we kind of mused last night, is it possibly his last time playing on the hardwood floor in South Beach?
It doesn't look like it's gonna. If this continues, it doesn't look like it's gonna be it.
Okay.
Before the game, I thought, yeah, maybe, because that was the question. They were all questionable before the game, and they all ended up playing. And I was thinking, okay, well, is there going to be a little bit of hype about him playing in Miami for the last time? I didn't hear one thing the entire telecast, unless I missed it. I didn't hear one thing. So it doesn't look like LeBron is going to leave, guys. Whether it's at LA or not, I don't think he wants to go anywhere. And maybe the reason why he's playing so well now is maybe something happened behind the scenes. Maybe somebody said something to him, an executive. Maybe Luka talked about it.
He was excited with Luka getting the 60. That whole bench lit up when he got.
And let's put this in perspective as well. Have you seen any ego coming from Luka with any of this? You never saw it with Kyrie. You never saw it with LeBron. No matter what was going on, you never heard anything with, oh, Luka's talking about, so and so, and Luka. You haven't heard any of that. These guys, they're foaming at the mouth, waiting for something like that. These scum-sucking pigs, like the ones at the Athletic, and all these tabloid sports urinalists.
I do.
So I'm just saying.
That's
look, man, a scumbag is always going to come out at some point. They're going to show themselves because they can't help it. They need the attention. That's why you have so many numbskulls all over just doing stupid videos, because they're useless. They don't probably know a trade. They probably don't know how to be dedicated to anything. And you have a bunch of idiots that pay money for this stuff, right? To just keep degrading the culture even more. So now we're just expecting guys like Luka to be divas, right? Is that what you're waiting for? Is that what you're waiting for? People who don't like Luka Doncic? He's a diva, all right. But he's a diva that's going to whoop your ass on the court. That's where he's the diva. And that's where we want him to be diva.
Save it for Nick T for Saturday.
Nick T doesn't affect anything in this discussion.
Okay, all right.
Nick T is losing his foothold on this.
Okay, fair enough.
Luka Doncic is the future. Today's the future. When he gets his team built, you all gonna just watch greatness, and he's gonna be wearing royalty colors, purple and gold, and you're gonna see champions a lot. I mean, a lot. It's only 5 guys on that court. It's a lot easier to control that when you have one guy that's a mega star. It's going to be fun. The West is going to be it's going to kind of rival the East in the 90s. It's going to rival the East in the 90s. You had the Bulls, you had the Knicks, you had Indiana, you had Cleveland at the beginning of the 90s. That place was stacked. And right now, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, And the Lakers are going to be playing back and forth between 1, 2, and 3 for the next decade.
And after losing to Atlanta, JY, the other night at the Magic City game, which again, I think that should have been up to the community and not Luke Cornett, who wasn't even involved in that game or
Luke
outside
Cornett,
sources.
you're on my hate list forever, my guy.
Oh, I hope next time. Does San Antonio actually stop by before the end of the season, or is that probably next season?
Let me see.
Probably next season. I hope they remember. I hope the Atlanta community has a long memory and lets him know exactly about that. Because again, that should be up to your community, not outside sources, to decide whether that game should be.
Yeah, we don't see them no more. We done playing them for the year.
Okay, so again, I hope you guys have long memories, and again, just it's up to you. It's up to you guys in the community. We talked about this on the NBA observations when you and I talked about that game. It was like it should be up to the community to decide whether or not they want it. Because again, it's more than just a gentleman's club, or it has been to that community from what I've been able to read and understand, Legend. So again, you would know more than I do about it, and the whole community would know. They should have more of the sway than outside sources that had the NBA crumble.
Yeah, it's just messed up. And a lot of people are still angry about that, and a lot of people definitely said they're not gonna let this go. That the NBA did that.
Luke Cornett, watch out when you go to San Antonio. That's all I'll say, indeed. But of course, it is the Lakers fast break. Lakers do win 134 to 126. They're now 45-25, third place in the Western Conference, a full 2 games ahead of the Minnesota Timberwolves and 3 games ahead of the Rockets and the Nuggets. We will be back for sure after the post game after the Lakers and the Magic. Hopefully you'll be back with us too. And again, make sure you like and subscribe. Whether Lakerholics are here, NBA observations around, or the Lakers fast break post game, we've got you covered always on this network, always on this channel, always on this podcast right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Well, if you looked at my bracket, that's pretty damn funny.
Everybody's bracket is funny.
Especially after High Point. And North Carolina this year.
Talk about a low point for Wisconsin.
Thank you. He'll be here all week.